I'm Cameron, and today we're excited to have Chris with us. So Chris, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
Good to have you here, mate. So look, let's just dive right into it. So Chris, can you start by telling us and the audiences just a little bit about yourself and your role in the construction industry?
So I'm Chris Sheehan, Construction Manager at Imperial Homes. I've been with Imperial Homes for 4 years. I came over as a site manager and now I am the construction manager. I've got a team of 12, 2 forklift drivers and a range of assistants, trainees and managers. We have about 100 to 150 completions a year with a mixture of private and social housing.
Wow.
So it's quite intense. As a company we're expanding. We have done for the last sort of 4 or 5 years. We were kind of a bit of a local house builder. Now we're becoming more regional, so we're getting bigger and bigger.
I'm great to know, mate. Well, look, it's good to sort of see the background for people, and I think to sort of understand who you are as a person, not just necessarily like structured to what you do. So, just tell everyone what made you get into construction in particular.
So way back when I started. Brief lowdown. I got into the industry. I did my first bit of work experience at Imperial Homes, and then I was doing summer work for them. I was working 2 jobs. I was at Waitrose, and I was working kind of site hours, 8 till 4 during the summer. Really enjoyed it. I prefer being out on site. I ended up doing a national diploma in construction at college, and one thing led to another. I ended up writing to a load of house builders. Got some feedback.
Somebody actually took you on.
Yeah, that's it. Ended up working for Banner Homes, started there as a trainee at 18.
Wow.
So 20 years ago, I was a fresh-faced trainee at Banner Homes.
Still fresh-faced a bit now, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah. Don't know about that. The old hair's receding, but still got a fresh face. So 20 years ago, stuck it out with Banner, did 7 years there. Ended up working for Bargate for another 7 years. And then 4 years ago, as I said, started at Imperial Homes.
Yeah.
So trainee, assistant, and then site manager, working my way up the food chain over the years.
Great to know, mate. Sort of just homing in a little bit more there. So you sort of said you started in the industry from a young age, sort of 16, things like that. So was that ever sort of passed on in generation? Was your family involved in construction? Were they ever taking you around sites?
So always been in and around it. My dad, he was a rep for builders merchant, so I was growing up. So back in those days when you could go out on site as a nipper, I used to get dragged there with my little packed lunch, towards the tank engine lunchbox, get taken around the sites to do his repping, climb over the old pallets, look at the old fires on site like it was back in the day, no hard hat, no high vis. As a little boy looking
at health and safety has changed since then, don't worry.
Quite a bit. Diggers and dumpers, every little boy's like dream, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Ended up falling into it from that. Not being the most academic in the world, wanting to be outside on my bike and playing football, didn't really have a career path in mind, and was given some sound advice that there'll always be work in construction.
So with your projects you've done, I mean there'll be many from when you started from a little boy with Thomas the Tank Engine, lunchbox, right to way now running teams of 12.
Yeah.
But what's been a memorable project for you, and kind of a little bit as to why?
So to be fair, when I first started out as a fresh-faced 18-year-old, I worked with a very old school site manager called Peter O'Connor. I think he's retired now. Back in those days, we were always pushed to win pride in the job. So my first site I was ever on, we won a pride in the job. We ended up getting a seal of excellence with obviously the NHBC. So it was a bit of a good insight of methods and how to do things properly back in those days. I know now that the NHBC, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah,
but to get an award back in those days was good. The procedures that they had in place back then are obviously still reflected now, but there's obviously a lot more involved. But for the first 2 years it was HBC Pride in the Job Award, Seal of Excellence. Ended up going to the grand final, didn't quite make it, but it was a good insight as an 18-year-old to kind of get your foot in the door.
Now, thanks very much for that, Chris. So, okay, so just take it away a little bit about that. In your opinion then, as a construction manager, and you look at things with your sites and your teams, what's the key qualities needed, do you think, to succeed in construction or to have a construction career?
Firstly, you've got to be organised.
Yeah.
If you're not organised, you should be a site manager.
It could be chaos.
Yes.
Oh, no, go on.
You know, it's being punctual. I always, as a site manager, liked to be first on site, last to leave, so I could watch who's coming in the mornings. Watch who, you know.
Vigilant.
Yeah, that's
Vigilant
it. So I'm stood at the window in my site office with a coffee in my hand, tapping my foot as the trade.
That's your neighbourhood watch on site.
I like that. As trades are arriving. You've got to be organised. If you're not organised, you're getting off to a bad start. If you're turning up after the trades, running around trying to open up houses that people sat at your door waiting to go and earn their money, you're off to a bad start.
Yeah.
If you're organised with your materials, you're organised with your subcontractors. Look, we all make mistakes and we all mess things up. But if you can be organised, have a good bit of record keeping, it sets you off in good stead as being a site manager.
Okay, so look, so construction can often be very challenging, right?
Yes.
We all know this. Tight deadlines, CMLs, that type of year. So what we really want to understand is, how do you personally sort of balance that out with a good work-life balance where you get a bit of freedom from construction with your family or things you love to do?
So now that I do the programs in my role as construction manager, I like to be realistic with the programs.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to bang something out in 16 weeks. I know some of the nationals do that.
It would be nice if you could.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't always get that privilege.
You've got to be realistic. When you look at the drawings and you're seeing 4 or 5 bed houses, you obviously want to produce a quality product.
Absolutely.
But a quality product takes time. You don't want to give too much time, because you give more time, they'll take more time.
Yeah.
So I try to get a house done in about 22 weeks from oversight.
Yeah.
That gives the site manager less pressure. It gives us enough time to get our ducks in a row on site. We like to have oversights ready before we start, so you've got the continuation of work. The more stress that is in the industry, you'll find more people falling out of the industry.
Yeah.
There's always this stress with the show home, but the show home's done on a tighter program for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always swings and roundabouts. I've learned over the last 20 years that it swings and roundabouts on site, and the same with my role in the office. As site managers, you know, you have the 3-4 months when the ground workers are there where you can't start till 8 o'clock. So yeah, maybe you're not getting to site till 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:45. And in the winter, when people are going home at 2-3 o'clock because it's wet, I give my managers the flexibility that, you know, let me know, you go then.
Brilliant. Okay, right. So now shifting in from like your personal experience in the industry as a whole. So we know the last few years have been quite challenging in the residential sector. We all know this for various reasons. I mean, Christ, you've had the war and inflation of prices, house prices. We all know that. So as you or Imperial of business, how have you found it in the last, say, sort of maybe 18 to 24 months?
I mean, as a site manager, you didn't necessarily see it because you'd build your site and you move on to your next site.
Yeah.
As a construction manager, I see it on a daily basis. I mean, our directors are working tirelessly behind the scenes to secure new sites, whether it be a partnership with a housing association, or whether it be a private site or a split site. What we've noticed is obviously sales are becoming more and more difficult. Purchases are becoming very demanding. With wanting money off houses, margins become tighter. We've got to make sure that we get everything built on program to hit our prelims. And as I said, the directors are working tirelessly behind the scenes to secure bigger sites. The housing association link is key.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, there's a bit of a housing crisis at the moment. So if you can prove yourselves to be a good house builder with the housing association, and you end up partnering up with them, I believe that's key.
Look, I mean, our last thing then, really, so it's gone on quite quick, hasn't it? Actually, this interview. So there we are, let's see. Not too bad after all, is it? But look, our last one for us, just to sort of get out there to people as well, is what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to join the construction industry? So you could almost highlight that to maybe like a trainee or someone. What would you sort of say to them?
Stick with it. I know it's difficult. I know it can be stressful. But the industry as a whole has changed a lot. There's a lot of young ladies coming into the industry, whether it be technical, whether it be commercial, and site managers. As you know, you placed a couple of females with me on site level.
Absolutely.
The attention to detail from them is really good. We've also got young lads on for us as well. It's an industry that I think once you get into it, you can get a good career out of it.
I think so.
You know, if you work hard, keep your head down for the first couple of years, listen to what the more experienced guys have got to say, you can build a good solid career out of it and make a good life for yourself at the end of the day.
Amazing, mate. No, it's been brilliant. It's been a really great insight, I think, for everyone here watching. It's good to know that, you know, we're talking to a trusted individual in this sort of particular market, in this sector, who knows things, how they've done that development from a young age to grow through. So I think it's brilliant for people, especially aspiring to get into construction. So thank you very much for your time, Chris. It's been great to have you with FBR today. Yeah, it's been brilliant, mate. So obviously to you out there as well, just let you know that, you know, it is Imperial Homes that Chris is representing here. So again, please do check them out on their websites online. They do build a beautiful product, so have a look at their homes. But that's it from us. This is our first sort of official interview here at FBR, so keep checking out our socials, which will be in the next link.